All right, 8:43 right now. Earlier this week, the suspected Golden State Killer was arrested after investigators found a DNA match in a genealogy service database.
But what are the potential implications of consumer DNA databases with millions of entries? Joining us to discuss is criminal defense attorney Alaleh Kamran. Good morning. Thank you so much for being here.
Good morning.
This is a fascinating case. We've been talking about it all morning. We were talking about it in the makeup room. To remind our viewers, investigators found a DNA match for a family member in the database of GED match, which is used by genealogy services. It's kind of like Ancestry DNA. It helped them narrow the list of the suspects and eventually identify Joseph DeAngelo. So it was, what they're saying, really good police work. Other people are saying, you know, there's a controversy to it. Do you think that there's a legal case to exclude this evidence?
In order to exclude it, there would have to be a fight against the invasion of privacy. In other words, the suspect, Mr. DeAngelo in this case, would have to say, my privacy has been invaded, and therefore he has to prove standing in order to be able to exclude it. But he doesn't have standing to exclude as the information that was uploaded onto GED match was uploaded by others.
Right.
And his DNA was DNA that was abandoned, and it was
from a crime scene.
It was a crime scene.
Right.
So you don't have an expectation of privacy when you leave your DNA at a crime scene, do you? I don't think you do.
Well, it's so fascinating how the investigator did this. So they used a fake name, they used a fake account, and they sent in his DNA and said, can you find family? When they identified his family, that's how they were able to zero in on him.
What's interesting with GED match is that there's three ways you can get into the database, and it is a database. It collects information. You can get your information from Ancestry.com or Me23andMe, and then you as the consumer then choose to upload your information on GED match. But when you go on GED match, you can either use your real name or you can use an alias.
Right.
So they did that. They entered into the system, and you have to tell them that you have the authority to do so, or you're the legal guardian, or you are the real person. Well, if you're law enforcement and you've collected information which was discarded, you probably do have a pretty good argument that you have authority to upload the information.
Yeah. This kind of, as we broaden this out here, because this has been legal in the state of California since, 2006, when we passed Proposition 69. What about other technology that collects our personal information? You get the Alexas and those things that are always listening. Can law enforcement access that? Say there's a domestic abuse case. Can attorney or law enforcement access, well, were there ever recordings in the household that caught a fight?
It's a great question, because all of the technology and all of the sciences that we have are, the parameters of it are the Constitution. So you have the regular laws that will apply, the regular concepts that will apply. Do you have a reasonable expectation of privacy in your home? I would argue that yes, you do. So the same arguments would apply to keep it excluded or to allow it into evidence. However, do you have an expectation of privacy in your friend Peter's home if something happens at Peter's home?
So I think, don't know.
Exactly.
Right?
So the location,
all of our cameras, all of our little drop cams that we have all over the house.
Right. And the questions of how we look at privacy are changing.
Yeah.
It's the newer generation and what they understand privacy to be, and what they understand to be out there and acceptable to be out there is changing.
We're willing to give up a lot for convenience sometimes, but we have to think about it. Thank you so much for being here this morning.
Thank you for having me.
More information on her insights and her services here, you can find, there is the website right there on your screen. Thanks for being here this morning.
AlalehKamran.com.
We appreciate it. All right.
Thank you so much.